the devastation that's all around them becomes part of their reality.
Yep.
And that turns into hopelessness, doesn't it?
Yep, absolutely.
And so when you and I show up with smiles, with joy, with servant labor, free to help, it ignites something in them and says, wow, there's something about them that's different.
Yep.
And then when they ask the question, we get to share the answer of the hope that lies within us.
Yep, exactly. So really what we're doing on a natural disaster level is in the cities, there's a lot of similarities.
Totally. Yeah, we deal with disaster all the time in this community. And it shows up in death through murders and violence. It shows up in trauma. The number of children that are affected by these violent communities and abusive situations, oh my goodness, it's terrible. I would go so far as to say, well, I mean, here's an example. We had a conference. We had 25 young ladies that we took out of it was a youth conference. We took them out of the audience, put them up on stage, put them on chairs, and we had a specialist go through each one, asking them questions. Went through all 25 young girls ages 12 to 15 from this community and asked them how many of them had been raped or sexually abused. Out of the 25, guess how many?
Probably 24.
25, all of them. It is devastating, some of the sad reality that takes place. Well, we as Christians, we want to intervene. We want to see that change take place in their life. And when you begin to speak into their life, you begin to work with these young people and see Jesus change them, I'm telling you what, there's nothing like it.
Yeah, because that's, for those young girls, I mean, I don't think people have any clue how devastating that is. How it just destroys their life, and it just sends them down a hole until somebody comes and tells them they're worth something again. Yeah.
I'm a big person on responsibility, and that's how I grew up in rural Iowa. So when I look at inner city and I see someone that killed someone, or I see someone broke in armed robbery, I think, you're so irresponsible. That's what I think. And then I moved into this community 32 years ago, and I was in the neighbor next to little John, who grew up 1-year-old, 2-year-old, 3-year-old. And his life was headed in a bad direction. Why? Because of the abusive situation, the lack of family support. The environment he grew up in shaped him into the person that at age 10, I could say, man, if Jesus doesn't show up in his life, he's going to go to prison soon. Age 17, he was murdered right on my street corner. And I can tell you, little John almost didn't even have a chance.
Yeah.
Because he's growing up in this abusive environment. He was conditioned this way. Just like I was conditioned to be responsible at a young age, he was conditioned to be violent and angry at a young age.
The two different cultures.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, and I was just thinking the same thing. And where I am, there are kids conditioned to be successful.
Yeah.
Because their parents, they encourage, they give them opportunities.
Yep.
And everything in their life is conditioning them to be a successful person if they choose to take that on.
That's right.
And here, the conditioning is hopelessness.
Yeah.
And I know one time you told me that it's so hopeless here. First of all, people don't invest in houses.
Right.
Because they don't think past like tomorrow.
Today, yeah. Exactly.
And so they invest in things that are going to make them happy in the short term, which is cars, drugs. Yeah,
whatever's most temporary and most achievable. That's correct. So home ownership in poor communities is virtually non-existent. So 70% of homes here are owned by some landlord who's trying to make extra money. And believe me, they can make extra money. But because they don't live here, they really don't take care of it. And so many people live in homes that aren't up to speed. They're not updated at all. And they really don't have any kind of ownership in it. So our Lighthouse program, we fix these homes up so that someone who goes into it has a level of dignity and pride that, wow, I get to live in this kind of home. And then when they start to work in the community, oh, I'm telling you what, it raises the level of people's sense of hope.
The home next door starts taking a little bit better care.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it just kind of spreads out from there. And then people can start understanding they can own a house.
That's right. So we've done 65 homes so far in the last 12 years that we started this strategy, and we've sold about 20 of them. So we will definitely sell a home to a family. And here's the interesting thing. There's a lot of wonderful home programs in the community, but those homes sell for $140,000 to $200,000, even in communities like this. The people we work with, they cannot afford that.
Because their average salary in this community is, or their average income,
is like $27,000. And that's the poverty line. In fact, this community, over 61% of all children are in extreme poverty. Not just poverty, extreme poverty. And that starts showing up in a lot of the criminal behavior and the actions that we see. So if people are coming in to volunteer and giving their resourcefulness away so that those without can start to experience hope, oh my goodness, talk about revitalization. That's Christianity at its core.
Yeah. And one of our main tagline at GoServ is delivering hope.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, then that's so coming in here, we're assisting you in delivering hope to this community.
That's right. Yeah, there's a lot of good works that go on, but we want to be about God's work.
Yep.
And God's work starts with love, moves people to hope so that they can receive faith in Jesus Christ. That's the beautiful bridge of Christianity.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm excited to work with you, because that's your heart, and the volunteers you work with, it's powerful.
Yeah. And from our side, it's great to work with an organization like you. First of all, we do disaster work, but we never know when the next disaster is coming.
Right, yeah.
So to be able to schedule trips where we can bring volunteers who maybe don't want to go overseas, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Because we can come here really close to home.
Yeah.
And we can make a huge difference. We can help you make a huge difference in this community. And we've seen it. I mean, there's evidence of it. There's spiritual evidence, there's spiritual fruit, and there's empirical evidence from the police department that can show you numbers, that have showed you numbers.
Exactly.
So, I mean, I really am glad we've, brought this relationship back, and, we look forward to bringing volunteers here on a ongoing basis, because it is life-changing when you come and just start to understand a little bit why things are the way they are here, and how you can make a difference in this community.
I love it. Well, thank you, Dennis, because what you're doing to help mobilize people is so powerful, because the church, the church does a great job of tending to the congregation's needs, right?
Yeah.
But we need organizations like yours to extend the congregation into the world to make a difference.
Yeah. So, thanks, Ron. Thanks for spending a little time with me. It's great to just, I've heard a lot of this stuff before, but it's always good to recap and remind yourself. So I appreciate that.
We're better together.
Better together. That's
Love it.
right.